we have Emmanuel here. You know, he's probably the best person to speak to about Oliva. It's been a firm favorite, you know, worldwide itself. But let's talk about Oliva themselves, the family, the Oliva family. Could you tell us a bit more about maybe their background? You know, how long have they been in the cigar business?
Well, actually, from 1886, the family Oliva has been making cigars. Yeah, they started in Cuba, where Melanio Oliva, that's where the name Melanio comes from.
Yeah.
He was the first one to start making cigars in Cuba. He has been doing that for all of his life. Then his son Facundo took over, and then his son Gilberto was still making cigars in Cuba.
It's proper family business.
It's proper family business. It's all Cuban descent. But when the communism came into Cuba, and they lost the factory, they lost the plantations, everything, they decided to look for a different country to be able to do their business.
Yes, and Nicaragua was a country. Did they immediately settle in Nicaragua or did they go elsewhere first?
It took them about 12 years. They went through 4 countries to look for the right place where the temperature, the soil, where everything was perfect. Because they have been making cigars for almost 70 years and they couldn't be okay with an average cigar. So they went to Panama, they went to Philippines, to 4 or 5 different countries. And after 11, 12 years, they got to Nicaragua and they said, okay, this is the place where we can make the best cigars in the world.
Yeah.
So that's when they started making cigars in Nicaragua.
Nice, very, very cool. You know, there's always this debate, you know, that goes on between cigar smokers, cigar producers around the world, which is basically Cuban New World cigars. You know, there's always people that are very passionate about one or the other. I think from your standpoint, I mean, of course, Oliva being a New World cigar, but with Cuban roots, Cuban heritage, what's your take on New World cigars? You know, what do you think is, because right now they're holding an edge. So
Exactly.
why do you think that is?
I believe that, first of all, we as Oliva, we focus on ourselves. We don't like to go and compare with others because then you're losing time.
You're only in competition with yourself.
That's it. And every cigar that leaves our factory has been tested on draw. You're never going to find a cigar of Oliva if it's well kept by guys like you and guys that work in cigars. If the conditions are right, you're never going to find an Oliva cigar with a bad draw. It's tested, and that's where we try to focus, like you say, competition against ourselves. We go for every cigar. We know that we have good tobaccos. Of course, there's a lot of companies that have, a lot of producers that have good tobaccos, but we try to differentiate ourselves in quality and consistency, and that's where we build on. And I think there's one of the things to say about the different companies, but Nicaragua, I think, in soil, in quality of tobacco, is one of the best in the world, for sure.
Yeah, it's very rich, volcanic soil, you know, and we often talk about this with Pura Vida. Soil, terroir plays a big part. But also something that plays a major role is the skill of the roller itself, because let's face it, it's not easy to roll a Figurado.
It is.
Could you tell us a bit more about the rollers in the Oliva factory itself?
Yeah, well, in the Oliva factory we now work with over 1,500 people rolling, and they all work in teams of men and women. So each has his part, because we find that where the man does the start, so we roll the cigar, and then the wrapper part, which is very delicate.
She refines it.
She refines it. I try to do it myself, and the first part was okay, but then you put the wrapper on, you need fine things. You need it's a very
gentle
work.
touch.
A gentle touch, and that's where we go for. We try to look also at the consistency of our tobaccos to have them all very well fermented. We age every cigar before it leaves the factory.
How long is the period of aging?
It depends, of course, on the blend and the cigars that we use. There were almost at 8 months of aging before we actually send it out, and that's for us the minimum that it has to age for a smoker to smoke. So if an Oliva gets hot, no need to rest it longer. It's ready to smoke. It's at its perfect moment. It's a perfect moment to smoke it.
Alright, so we are in the second third of the Oliva Serie Melanio Figurado. You were mentioning something about the factory itself, about the boxes. Do you want to explain that?
Exactly. Well, what we do at Oliva, we try to keep everything within the own company, in-house. So we don't really like to have suppliers because, as I said, our main goal is to have consistency. If you have suppliers, you don't have
control.
You don't have
of
control
the quality.
of the whole flow. And even until like the part of the box, we make our own boxes. We have our own boxing company. So yeah, we just get the wood, we buy the wood, we cut the wood, we paint it, we carve it. So we have everything in hand. So that means that we don't rely on any supplier in any case. So that shows you the consistency that we're going.
Nice. And with the rollers itself, I mean, this is something I really wanted to know because, like, with Cuban cigars, for example, if you've been rolling for a certain amount of years, then that's when you get to do the more complicated stuff, you know,
Exactly.
the torpedoes and things like that. But also for the limitadas, you know, it's very experienced rollers. Is that the same with Oliva?
With Oliva, we tend to work a little bit different. We train our guys, like it takes a lot of time and investment for the guys to learn how to roll. But once they're ready to roll our cigars, they roll the Series O line, Series G line, Series V, and Series V line. So the shapes, of course, if you have a more difficult shape, like the Figurado, for example, you have the most experienced rollers rolling with difficult shapes. But with the lines, with the different price range and everything, the cigars are made by the same people. I mean, it's the blend of the tobacco that makes it a different cigar, but it's rolled with the same expertise for every line that we have.
The consistency is one factor here that I feel because, you know, I'm no stranger to Oliva. I've had a lot of Olivas, you know, from the O to the G, you know, the Melanio. Of course, the Figurado, this is the first time. But the one hallmark, the flavors are different, but the consistency is always there, the quality is always there. And that's something I hope never changes with Oliva.
Exactly, and that is our big aim. That's what we really go for. That's why every cigar gets tested before it leaves the factory. It's perfectly aged, it's perfectly rolled. You're never going to be disappointed when you smoke it.
Thank you very, very much, Emmanuel, for your time, and I hope to see you around KL more often.
Perfect.
Till then, we'll see you guys in the next installment of Pura Vida. I'll be back. Till then, stay safe and stay smoky. Bye-bye.
Ciao.